Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I will be trying my hand at traditional Chinese dress. And what I mean by that is I'm making a Maomao cosplay. I have never tried anything historical or traditional in any sense, so this did run me through a loop because I wanted to be culturally sensitive and try to stick with it but also still make it a costume. And I hope I succeeded in that. I think I did. As you can see, she's right there. A few things I have to state before this video. One, I am not Chinese. If you use this video in any way, shape, or form to make your own Maomao cosplay or just an outfit like this, please look up your own sources and look into other people making this and have more than one way to learn about this type of dress. Two, this is not a tutorial. This is just how I made it. I will try to explain how I did things because I did have to change some things up, which you will see in the video, but it's still not a tutorial. Three, I will have every source that I used linked in the description. Every source. The YouTube videos I watched, the websites I used, everything. The one main website that I use though is New Hanfu. Everything, like the math I had to make the outfits, the context of what stuff was worn in, everything was New Hanfu. Most things were New Hanfu, sorry. But now that we have that out the way, let's talk about how I got here from how Maomao is actually dressed. At first, I was just going to do a 1-for-1 and do black colors, just a pink, white, whatever the skirt is, like a, I don't know, maroon. But the brain kept braining and I kept getting inspired and I was like, ooh, I kind of want brocade fabric. So I went thrifting and found the perfect fabrics. By the way, all my fabrics are thrifted. Honestly, everything you see on the costume is thrifted besides her jewelry and the wig. I wanted the wig to also be repurposed, but that was a whole nother thing. Oh my gosh, bro. This looks insane. I'm not sure about this one. This looks pretty bad. And I did dye some of the fabric. That's how we got here. And Maomao is a collection of Chinese dynasties, but I broke it down to the Song dynasty and the Tang dynasty. That's what I think she's kind of a mesh of, and that's how I decided on my patterns on what I wanted to make. I was supposed to be taking a break after my last costume, and Maomao was supposed to be something simple. Does this look like something simple to you? It's not. But I had a lot of fun with it. I hope you enjoy the video. Maybe you'll be inspired to make your own historical costume or just a historical outfit. I don't know. Let's get into making Maomao. I was so careful making these patterns and I just found out her green inner sleeve is shorter than the pink one. So I'm going to have to get rid of like 2 inches when I cut out the green. Awesome. I mean, it's not that bad because I did not have a lot of space on the green fabric, but still. I just spent what I think is the last hour trying to figure out how I'm going to do Maomao's skirt because I do want it to be at least a little historically accurate. So I was trying to figure out how to do the pleats because the skirt I want to do for Maomao is a horse-based Hanfu skirt or a Mamianqun skirt. So I was figuring out how to do that because the math involved is a little wild. But I figured it out even though I have to still cut the fabric, and look how pretty the pleats are. Don't mind this. This is the waistband that I have to cut off. This is how it is on my waist. These will be pressed down because that's part of the skirt, which will be pressed down, and it looks so nice. And you can kind of see it over the underskirt, the petticoat that I'm gonna be wearing with it. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of myself. It's so fun learning about a new culture and just making something new because this is so fun. I kind of want to make Maomao's other outfit just to learn something new. I'll try to explain it when I'm actually doing it. This was just practice for me, and the practice went so well. But making this also just makes me want to learn centimeters instead of inches. Centimeters is so much more even than inches are. Ugh, America. The sleeve also looks really good. I'm so flippin' excited. I'm going to cut the skirt apart, take out all my beautiful pleats, which I have to write down the math I did for this because I didn't. I was following New Hanfu website and all their math, which thank you, New Hanfu. You are my savior for this costume. I wasn't gonna do the skirt first, but I kind of want to now. This was really fun to do. So here I am working on the skirt. Earlier I told you I am making a Mamianqun, and for that you need 2 panels of skirt. And while I was looking for references of this skirt, a lot of them had decoration on the bottom of the skirt. I did look up on New Hanfu. They have a lot of information about historical Hanfus, and they did say some in the earlier like dynasties when this was first created, they didn't have any decorations or maybe like simple embroidery, and they were all one color. I was looking up reference images and a lot of them had designs, and it just felt icky to not have a design on mine. So I cut out strips of the remaining pink brocade fabric that I used for the collar and sewed them together. You can kind of see a seam here, and I'm putting them onto the bottom of the skirt. For Mamianqun, you have to have 2 panels, so I have to do this 2 times, but here's the second panel, and as you can see, I pasted a little strip, and I just did as many as I could, and I think I have enough to do a second strip on top so it's a little wider, because if you look at reference images, their designs can be so wide on the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add another strip to both pieces, and I think that will add a little bit more to mine, and it will also tie back to the collar on the Hanfu, which will make it look very nice. And if you don't do this type of skirt for Maomao, but you still kind of want to be historically accurate, this is by no means historically accurate. I liked this style of skirt, so I'm doing it. There's also another skirt called I have to remember how to pronounce it. Beizi, which actually has a skirt bottom that is shorter and you wear an underskirt under it. That would probably be more accurate to Maomao, but this skirt was so pretty that I really wanted to make it for Maomao. So here I am doing this. I don't know if I'm gonna add more decoration or just these 2 panels. We'll see when I see the whole thing together. And they're just pressed like bias tape, and I'm top stitching them on. Isn't that awesome? When I sew all this on, I will come back to show you how to do the pleating, or at least I'll try. This isn't a tutorial. This is just how I'm doing stuff. Guys, I'm so tired. This whole cosplay is just so iron. So iron. So iron. I'm so tired. I thought I was going to be able to finish the skirt today, but I have been ironing and sewing so much. I finished putting the applique stuff on. It looks very pretty. I added some lace on here too that I had, and now the full picture looks very pretty. I think it came out really good. The 2 sections was a really good idea. Now it's time to actually pleat the skirt. I will try to explain it to you guys, but I will also link what I used for all the math in the description, because it's a lot of math, but I will try to explain what I'm doing. Not the math, but what I'm doing with the finished math. Before you get started with the pleating, you have to make sure your skirt pieces are hemmed and the sides are finished. I just did really tiny rolled hems for mine, and that worked out really nice. Now for the math. You will see later that the math I am about to tell you did not work out for me, but I didn't write down my finished measurements. Ha! So I'm just gonna tell you what I know now. For a Mamianqun, there is such a thing as skirt doors, which is on both sides of both panels, and it doesn't get pleated at all. My skirt doors were 24 centimeters each. And I will be working this whole thing in centimeters because it was just easier for me to do the calculations if I just did my measurements in centimeters also. So when you get how big you want your door to be, you have to calculate your pleats, how many you want, and how wide the pleats are going to be. And for my first try, I did 6 pleats, and I think each of them were about 15 centimeters wide, and they had a 2 centimeter showing. I'll tell you what that means in a little bit, but for now, as you can see what I'm doing in the video, you have to divide up your fabric into 6 parts for your 6 pleats. Measure out your doors and measure out your pleats. And make sure you do all of the math before you even get started. You need to know that this will work out. After you have everything marked out, because you will want it marked out, trust me, you want to figure out how much of your pleats are showing. Once you start pleating, you start from the middle, so make sure you find the middle of your fabric and you just do it the 15 or so centimeters that it was. And when you go on to make your second pleat, this is where the pleat showing math comes in. On the first pleat you see, you have to make sure that it is the exact measurement you got. So mine was 2 centimeters, and as you can see, if I could move my big fat head out the way, you would see that I'm measuring 2 centimeters of showing from the last pleat. And then you continue to do the same thing. When you finish one side, you go to the other, you start in the middle, you do your overlaps, and then you'll be fine. You pleat all the way down the skirt because you have to have that indent all the way down. And once you're done with the first panel, you repeat the same thing on the other skirt panel, and then you are good to go for the next step. An hour and a half I won't ever get back, but it's finished. My pleats look really good, if I do say so myself. I kind of tried it on, if you can see, hold on, in the mirror. It's a little straight down. They're supposed to open after you know, take out the pins. This was a lot of work. Here's what the back looks like. Yeah, all that hidden fabric. I am so tired, but at least my cosplay is gonna look pretty. And that's all anyone can ask for, really. So here's one of the finished panels, and look how pretty it is after you press it. It's so pretty. I'm a happy individual. So the next order of business is to proceed as usual, which is adding the waistband and the ties of the waistband, because everything in these garments is adjustable. There's no zippers, there's no snaps or nothing. Here is my waistband. Actually, before I even do this, I have to sew my ties. I have to make 2 ties. Right now it's all one long tie. And put them in the sides of the waistband. Sew the sides, turn it the other way out. Pin it to the skirt, and that's it. Attach the waistband, and that's it. We got a waistband. Well, in terms of actual Mamianqun. In terms of Maomao, I have these pieces that I'm going to stitch on top to make it for her little pink parts that she has on her waistband. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'm really happy with how these panels turned out, especially the pleats, because I had no idea how these pleats would turn out with this type of fabric, but they are nice and crisp. They go back into shape when you take them out. So I am happy. Yippee! Another note to keep about having two skirt panels so they could ride horses. So they need to overlap. You do not attach the skirt panels in any way except at the waist by the waistband. Other than that, they're just flowing with the wind, and that's why you need your edges finished. I've run into a problem with the skirt. I added the waistband yesterday. I didn't put it all the way on. I just sewed it to the front, and it's very nice. It's very pretty. I put it on like normal. It looks very pretty. Like, look how nice that is. And then I turn around. What is that? Pretty. Oh my gosh, it's doing what it's supposed to. It's supposed to overlap like the front one. It's not doing that on the back. That's so awesome, really. But I am finishing this skirt. I don't know when, but it's gonna be the first thing I finish. So yeah, it's supposed to overlap. I did think of maybe a fix, hopefully. So on the skirt, we have the pleats, right? And right now, they're like 2 centimeters apart. And I'm thinking of changing all of the pleats to maybe like 3 to 4 centimeters apart so we can close that gap. And hopefully it will give me space back. What I'm not looking forward to is seam ripping this. I also have to seam rip one of the sides of the waistband, take this tie out and add some more because when I separate the pleats, it's gonna get longer. I was so close to being done with the skirt and then this happened. This is the problem with working with thrifted fabric. One, you can't get more. I mean, maybe if there's a miracle and they have a tag where it's from, and maybe you can get some more. Maybe. 2, you can't really get like fabric. First of all, there are no fabric stores near me, which is so awesome. And 2, where would I get this type of fabric? I can't go shopping online for this type of fabric. And I don't want to pay an online shop for more fabric. I wanted her outfit to be thrifted materials. It's not that serious. I thought of a fix, so I'm gonna try that fix, and if it fixes, you'll see me being happy. If it doesn't fix, I'm just here for a quick update. I redid all of the panels to be bigger, and now the skirt is too big, so I have to readjust it again. Added the waistband again and everything. I finally got them to overlap. Here's the back, and it's overlapping here, as you can see, and on the front it's overlapping here, and the pleats look good. I wish I could have made them smaller, but I can't do that because I had limited fabric, so I had to do what I had to do. I made the pleats a little more curved and gradual, so it starts at my waist at 5 inches apart, and then it gradually goes down to 9 inches apart on the bottom. And that's how I got it to fit, because when I was doing it before, I realized I have a butt. With that, I probably should take more precautions. I have curves, lumps and bumps, okay? So I had to take into account my hip measurement more than just my waist measurement. But I got it. And I cannot help you with the math because I don't know what the heck I did. It's nice. It's flowy. Look at that. And I know I could have hidden a pocket in one of these pleats. I just didn't want to deal with that. But since they overlap, I can just open this and make one of those like Victorian pocket things. And there you go. I have a pocket on both sides. That's enough for me. And it also fits over the petticoat, which I already have, so I don't have to make one. It's the perfect length, the perfect color, with the ties here too. Oh, I'm so happy I finally got it done after remaking it so many times. It's not as accurate to the actual Mamianqun skirts because the pleats are usually a little smaller, but I couldn't really do that with the amount of fabric I had. I did it! I made a Mamianqun skirt! You'll have to add a buttonhole over here because that's how you tie it and you don't get this like overlap. I don't want that. That's not the type of skirt I'm making. So I have to do a buttonhole somewhere over here so I can pull this tie through. And I made my ties long enough that I can go 1, 2, and then 3. I also have to stitch on the pink part that Mama has here and here. Because my proportions are so different, it would not have worked if I just did straight pleats. I needed to do trapezoid pleats, sort of, which that is accurate. It's just the pleats were smaller and I can't really do that. I'm scared to start the top. Because if this was like this, what's the top gonna be like? Alright, I'm gonna finish the skirt. The skirt is done, finally. It looks so pretty. I'm so happy with the petticoat and everything. I'm so happy with how it turned out. On the skirt, I put the 2 pink parts on. Just top stitch. This one's sewed on like bias tape, like that. And this one is just top stitched on top of the seam that connected the waistband and the skirt together. And that's how those are on. And then over here, if I can find it for you, you can see where I put the buttonhole, and you just put that through when you overlap the back. Put one of the things through and you wrap it around, tie it in the front, and hello, you got a skirt. I'm so happy with how it looks. I had to catch myself earlier in the project when I was still researching skirts, because it will have an overlap in the back like this, and I was thinking, oh, it's not gonna look accurate to Maomao. But I caught myself because I was like, wait a minute, we don't go for accuracy. I mean, we do, but like, we go for fit and actual people before we go with the animation. And I am so glad I went just with what I wanted instead of staying accurate, because the whole skirt, Maomao doesn't have this. And her green is darker, but I am so happy with this. I am so glad I picked this brocade at the thrift store and dyed it. It just works so well. And then the little hints of the brocade up here and then here. I am really happy how the skirt looks. So now I'm going to work on her undershirt. For Maomao's undergarment in her garden party outfit is probably a Nei Yi, which is kind of like a normal undershirt that we have today. I think we see it actually in the show sometime maybe, and I think hers has straps. The one for her garden party outfit is called a pronunciations. Moshong. The one for her garden party outfit is a moshong. At least that's what it looks like to me, because she has that band at the top of it, which makes it look like that. So that's what I'm going to make. And from what I've researched, it's just a giant rectangle with ties at the top. And that's it. I wish I could add a little bit of embroidery, but 1, that takes time, and 2, Maomao doesn't even have any, so I don't really feel the need to, and 3, I think historically some of them didn't really have much embroidery on it anyway, so it could be plain or it could be embroidered. I do have this, which I'm thinking of putting at least on the top of the band. I want to do the one where it has a little dart in the middle or a little fold in the middle. I don't know what it is. I still have to look stuff up, because I think it ties around, it wraps back around in the front, you tie it kind of like the skirt, but then you flip down the top to hide the ties. That's what I've seen from a YouTube video, so that's probably how I'm gonna make it. I'm more prepared than I thought because I have this white fabric that I got who knows when, and it's pretty thick, pretty nice. Then I forgot I got this fabric. It's eyelet fabric. As you can see, that's all over the fabric. I totally forgot I had this. I think I was gonna overlay it with this so it can have some texture on it. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I totally forgot. And I have to overlay it because the eyelets are see-through. Well, yay! She will have a little embroidery, sorta. Hopefully this doesn't give me grief like the skirt did. It shouldn't, but who knows? Here are all the pieces cut out. This is the straps. This is like the top fold down piece. And then this is the whole top. For the top, I just measured the fullest part of my chest and added a few inches. And then I just measured how long I wanted it. Hopefully it fits. I'm not even sure I can add the little pleat that I want to do. I think that's how the pleat goes. Oh. That's not equal. Anyways, because I think it's supposed to overlap, but I could not find a back view of this. I'm gonna just swing it as I always do. This will again be added to the top like bias tape. Everything else, like the edges of this, will be narrow hemmed as I did with the skirt. Hopefully will be pretty simple. Hopefully. It's done. It was really quick. It really was just a whole bunch of rectangles. I did forget to do the little dart here, but it is what it is. I put on the robe pieces that aren't done to see how it would look like, and it looks fine. Let's say I have the skirt on. About this much will be shown. It doesn't overlap in the back how I thought it was going to. It does that, which isn't bad because you're not gonna see it. And I tied it here, and then I just put the folded down, and there it is. I have never made a garment in one day. Yeah, everything else is just roll hemmed. There's the pattern on it. There you go. And it's pretty adjustable. If I wanted to move it down, I could. If I wanted to move it up, I could. Now it's time to move on to the robe. When I put it on, you can see a giant mistake. I forgot to do a mock-up when I did the pattern. If you can see this, right? The sides need to be connected. Look at the sides. I mean, maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. But it looks like it's not gonna fit. Because the sides are here, and like, maybe with the collar, it'll be fine. I don't know. But Maomao's swimming together, and I'm really excited. I can't believe I'm actually doing historical garments. I never thought I'd make a pattern for something, cut it out, and finish it all in the same day. That has never been done before. Good morning and hello to working on Maomao again. So here's what we're working with. As you can see, this is everything pinned onto my mannequin just to see how it will look. And I say it looks pretty good. There's a few updates. As you can see on her I'm not gonna butcher stuff. That's just not me. Moshong. That's how it's pronounced. Moshong. I added little ribbon. Or not ribbon. Yes, ribbon. What? Some ribbon that I had, and I think it complements it so well. Oh my gosh, I love it. I also made some accessories that you can't even see. I added little accessories because I'm really liking more and more historical elements to the hanfu that I see. So I'm like, let's just continue making Maomao a little more real. So I added a little bead chain of just miscellaneous beads that I had in my stash. And I have this pink cord, right? And I made an auspicious knot. Now, I'm not sure if that's really what the actual name is, but I got it from New Hanfu. That's what they said the name is. An auspicious knot, which they said is meant to represent good luck, auspiciousness, and beauty. And I feel like that represents Maomao a lot. So I made that in pink, of course. I think it suits fits it so well. Here it is on the skirt, and I just love it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Ugh, I don't like that you can see me. Get away. You can also see that I pinned her sash on because that is also a historical element that they have, and Maomao actually has too. I still don't know what I'm doing. At first, I wasn't gonna do anything and just leave it a square, so for future projects, I can just leave it. But I don't think I'm taking this apart anytime soon because I'm really proud of it. So I'm thinking of actually making a sash, and I kind of want to pleat it kind of like this so I can have an actual sash for Maomao. Right now, we need to actually make the Beizi, which is the robe overcoat part. The Beizi. Maomao has two different colors for the collar part. I have the robe part already cut out, as you saw earlier, but my problem came with the sleeve. I have all of this embellishment, all of this brocade everywhere, and I really wanted some at the end of the sleeve. Problem is, I ran out of this pink one. I'm really sad about it. I used every inch. I took a little bit that I had from a different costume I'm going to be making and dyed it pink. It matches really well on camera. It looks, I mean, it's more exaggerated on camera, the colors, but I want to put this on the end of the sleeve, and I think it's gonna work well. I think the colors work well. Hopefully this works, guys, because I don't really get the logistics on how to make this, specifically the sleeves, because I'm not gonna have a lining. I decided not to. I'll figure it out, as I always do. I pinned on the brocade onto the bottom sleeve, and I'm thinking about putting this on here to tie it back to the skirt, and I'm thinking it looks very cute. So now that all of this is primmed, pressed, and ready for sewing, it's time to get to that. My plan to hem this was top stitching it to the hem of the sleeve, right? And then just top stitching here. Like you can see I already ironed it and folded it down to be top stitched on. I have just realized I could have hemmed this an easier way. Top stitched it like I just did, and then folded it like this and just did that, and it would have been easier, but I can't do that because the sides dyed differently. There you can see they dyed differently, and this side looks pretty with the rest of the outfit. I can't believe this, and I already did both. It's not that crazy because I already had a plan to just roll him the bottom, but boy is it annoying. The awkward moment when you'll run out of top thread before bobbin thread. Really, bro? This took me way longer than I would like to admit. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I have a headache from my allergies, but I got it done. Here's what you're looking at. I want to French seam the top together, and I was trying to find a way to do that, and I didn't know how to do that with the under sleeve or the green part. I was racking my brain. At first, as you can see here, I had French seamed this together first, and then I was trying to do this. It wasn't working because only this was on the outside and I needed to connect it to the pink part. So I was thinking for like 2 hours straight, 3 hours straight. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I finally decided to do the smart thing and look it up because duh. And I saw someone putting the sleeve together first and then you sew it all together. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Yeah, you put it together first before you. So yeah, I sewed it together. Wrong sides together because I'm French seaming it. But yeah, that makes more sense. I'm updating you because I was racking my brain and I couldn't think. I can't believe it took me about 3 hours to think, hey, maybe you should look it up and maybe someone had made one that can show you how you do. I can't believe this. Anyways, I'm sharing my knowledge with you just in case. I'm gonna eat something now. Alright guys, it's time to finish this thing. I finished connecting the sleeves. I don't remember when, like 2 days ago or something, I don't know. It was a nightmare, so I stopped. I stopped sewing because I just could not get this connection to lay flat. It's done. The green is connected now. We're all groovy. I also added a little of that lace that I added to the bottom of the skirt. And as you can see, I clipped everything together. So all I gotta do this morning is sew. And then after that, we put on the collar and hopefully we're good to go. And then the mane will be done. After that, I have to make her little flower accessory because I decided to be extra. And instead of getting like a flower from Dollar Tree, I decided to make it. Because why not? Look at all of this. I'm very proud. So I'm gonna make the flower too. And then it's the wig. I don't wanna. Alright, all the seams are French. It's true. But let me turn this inside out and I can try it on. I'm so scared because it looks really small. Alright, here I go. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. Did I do something wrong? Okay, I did. For some reason, this seam did not get sewn. Okay, that's cool. The sleeves are big, so I'm not worried about that fit. I'm worried about everything else, so I'm just gonna try it on. Oh no, oh no, oh no, that's not good. That's not good at all. So I've run into a big problem. It is so small under here, like I can't even pull it closed. With the collar, it should bring it in a little. Oh no. Because Maomao's isn't fully closed. Hers isn't closed at all. Oh no, that's not good. This is as much as I can pull it. Oh gosh. Let me try it on with the undershirt. Yeah. This is a problem. If I don't have the collar, you can see all the way over there. I think the only way I can do to fix this is add an extension to the front or maybe add an extension to the back. Somewhere, somehow. I think I have enough to add a strip of fabric. I can't believe. Well, I fixed it, sort of. It falls at a better place. As you can see, it's a little closer than before, but it's so ugly. If you see this puckering, I had to add like a 6-inch panel and it added so ugly for some reason. Can you see all that puckering underneath? Like, look at all that. Ew. My only saving grace is that it's under the arms, so you won't be able to see it. I might have to redo this in the future because right now I can't stand it. It's so disgusting to look at. It does not fill me with joy. Now I can finally add on the collars as was intended in the first place, and they're just gonna be added like bias tape. As you can see, I pressed them like bias tape and then I'm a hem it. I am not happy. The disappointment has been postponed because look at me. Hello. I'm happy. Let's talk about it. I put the collar on, which I added this like bias tape, but I actually folded this in half and just sewed it right here on the edge. That does its job. I do wish I let a little more of the green peek out, but that's me being nitpicky. You can't even see this when I put my arm down. It's like really roomy, which is what I wanted. So you can't even tell it's puckered and everything. Something else, I forgot to put a tie. Adding the extensions gave me enough room that I could close it if I wanted to. I don't know why I would want to, but closing it under the waistband would be smart because it keeps wanting to do that, and I want you to stay in a spot. The collar sits really nice on my neck. Yo, It looks so good. Look at the sleeves. Look at the sleeves. Incredibly proud. I feel like they're smaller than what I had drafted. They're still nice, but I wanted a bit more drama. I also tried it on with the skirt to get the full look, and let me tell you, let me show you actually. Okay, you can't see the petticoat, but you can see more of the skirt. And I mean, hello, she's Maomao. She's Maomao. So happy. Like, this is my first time trying to do something at least semi-historically accurate. I'm sure I missed some steps, but I cannot believe it has turned out like this. Oh my gosh. And then I filmed nothing else. It's not like you missed much. Here's me making the flower that I clip onto her belt. I'm just using some satin that didn't get used from a past costume, and you just burn the edges so they curl out, and then you sew them together. And that's the flower. I also did her sash. I used a curtain that I have thrifted years ago. I did forget it in the reveal, but it is done. I also made a handkerchief and some Victorian pockets so I could hold my phone and other stuff, and the handkerchief was just extra on my part, TBH. But that I remembered. I'm really sad I did not film the wig because it came out so good, but I was fighting for my life when I was making it. If I ever do Maomao's other costumes, I may repurpose the wig, and so maybe I'll film it when I redo her wig for the garden party outfit. I'm not sure yet. I hope you enjoyed the making. I hope if you are using this for some sort of how-to, that you got something out of it. Even though, remember, this is not a tutorial. Thank you. Now that everything is said and done, shall we go to the reveal? I came out early in the morning and there's 50 million people out here. What the heck? Bro, it is a Tuesday morning. Why are there so many people awake? Go away!